Going guys, welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved. Hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. If you guys have, you guys know what to do, smash the like button if you haven't already. And with that, let's get into today's episode. So, at the end of the last episode, we finished off with our reactor setup way up here in the sky. And got the script working and all those fun things. So oh, hi Mr. Creeper. We should be able to turn it on. So let's charge the reactor. It's gonna go ahead and charge and do its thing. And in the meantime, while it's doing that and it's getting all ready, I went ahead and changed the settings over from the particle effects, so we shouldn't get any more lag down by the generator. I also went ahead and set a few more things up properly in the settings, so everything hopefully should be a little bit better and a little less laggy as we kind of get some more of these weird particle effects. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing do its thing, and we're going to head back down here. We should be fine. The reactor shouldn't explode while we're down here, and if it does, well, then I guess we'll have to go make some new parts, which will be very fun, because we'll have to go kill another chaos dragon. In the meantime, we need to get Ichor, because we're going to need the Ichor Cloth Strappant Silverwood Wand Core. And that is for the, I believe it's for the creative mana pool we end up needing this for. Yes. Well, we're also going to need it to probably craft this thing anyway. So we'll probably end up making 2 of these wands, just so that way I have one for use and one for the actual crafting. And then hopefully once we could probably start working on it, at the very least getting some. I know we have a lot of lapis. I know we have a lot of this coal. I think we're gonna I'm gonna set up some automatic, like, just farming of a bunch of these things. And not that it's really farming, but I guess just the crafting. We're gonna have a lot of that to do off camera, because I don't really want to bore you guys with going through the menu and just typing in and shift clicking things in. So there's gonna be quite a lot for some of those. Like for some of this stuff, it's just really gonna be a pain. But then the actual crafting and usage we'll go through. Anyway, so today's episode, we're gonna try to get this wand, at least one of them, if we can. And so it looks like we're gonna need to do we're gonna need to do some research inside of Thaumic Tinkering, which is in our book. So I think it's this path we have to go, because if it isn't, I don't really know where it's gonna end up being in this side of the book. So yeah, so we're gonna have I say tons, but hopefully not that much researching to do to try to get the wand core. Because remember, Thaumcraft, I can't even see the recipe in FNEI until we research it in Thaumcraft. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a bit of researching and tinkering and see where that puts us. I'm gonna need more ink, I think, and then this. Alright. Well, I will be right back, hopefully with its research and not an exploded reactor, and I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. So, through some research and some, well, literal research, both in game and out of game, I've discovered we need all of these things to get Ichor unlocked, basically. Yeah, we're gonna be researching in Thaumcraft for quite some time, because apparently we need pretty much all of this researched, along with tons and tons of other things. And we don't have a lot of aspects, so we're gonna have to farm some aspects. Some of the ways we can do that are using this thing. Why do we have 4 of these? I don't know. I don't know why we have 4, but we do. Using these things and just going through and scanning pretty much every little thing we can. Some things give us things. Like that doesn't give us anything. I found a lot of the machines give us things, but you have to like shift click so that it doesn't do weird things. Like that gave us a bunch. I don't think we scanned any of those. And so it is helpful to go through and like scan every... Like that gave us a lot. The dimension builder, good lord. The machines are the great ones because they give you a lot of little things. So of course, just going through and scanning everything we can. Not everything gives us stuff. So like the basalt didn't give us anything. The obelisk gave us a ton. See, dire crafting. Dire crafting gave us a ton. We already scanned most everything over here. Let's see, furnaces are scanned. Let's say some of these things are newer that we haven't scanned them before. But yeah, so we're gonna have to farm up some of that. And then I also wanted to check in on the reactor. So we turned it up to drain 200,000 from the reactor. Well, it's not gone boom yet, which is good. Okay, so we're stable-ish. It is important to note, so we're outputting 200,000 RF a tick, but we're injecting 90,000. So we're only really gaining about 110. So let me see, what does that dimlet require from us? Let's see. I don't know where I put it. It's either still in the machine. Let's see, is it still... Is it down here, or did I move it? This one. So it costs 1,000,000 RF a tick to create. And it requires a maintenance of 475,000. So right now we're generating a little under half of what we're going to need for that. So if we come over here, we have 13 billion stored. Almost 14 billion RF stored. So if we head back up to here, I want to see what we can push the reactor to. I want to see how much we can actually get out of this reactor. My goal is to try to get the 500,000 we need per tick just from this. Then obviously if we can get more, that'd be great. So we're going to go ahead and increase this another 100,000. And we're going to hopefully not explode. Now, the energy saturation levels are draining. And then the input, of course, is going up. So that is another thing we have to take into account, is as the input goes up, the temp's going to go up. But proportionately, we're going to get more generation out of it. So we do have to be careful that we don't exceed a certain point. Now, the saturation is draining it a little bit of an uncomfortable amount. So I'm going to decrease this down to 250,000. Because I want to see where the temperature goes. Now, there are failsafes in the script to prevent this from overheating and going boom. But I don't want to test them. I don't want to be discovering how quickly it goes boom. Now, it was able to pretty comfortably absorb that increase to 250,000 without much problem. So we're going to go up to 270. Now, as it gets closer to that target number, so the generation and the output, once they match each other, then the input slows down. And then, of course, temperature will also slow down. And then energy saturation will stabilize. So we want to just maintain temperature below 8,000. It seems to be able to comfortably handle it. Okay. Let's increase it to 300,000. Let's see where it goes. So, of course, numbers pretty much across the board are going up, and then saturation is draining. Let's see, how comfortably can we get... This is honestly one of those things that you're riding a very fine line while doing this. That is checking to make sure that this doesn't go boom. But while we're waiting, let's see. Let's do that. I mean, might as well. Really? The core doesn't give you anything? That's funny. The flux gate gives us things. That gave us things. I think we didn't. That gave us things. Okay. Might as well get all the research we can. Alright. So it looks like we're, again, pretty much whatever our generation is, we only get half of it back, because half of it goes back into stabilizing this. Okay. I mean, so far we're able to comfortably manage, and notice things have slowed down. Of course, if we did something like that, things are gonna escalate fairly quickly, but it should be fine. As long as we're above, I don't know what the threshold is for safety. I would assume the threshold for things not going boom are probably 20% energy saturation. I don't know the safety levels for that. As long as field strength maintains itself, we'll be fine. That's really the key. Saturation is really just a buffer. We want a higher utilization. And we want to get as close to 8,000 as possible. So far, we're able to maintain what we have without going boom, which I like to see. Fuel, of course, has degraded a little bit to 99.78. So we're using fuel, but we have plenty to spare. So right now, we can generate almost all the energy we're going to need for that. Now, again, yes, 150, 170,000. I'm guessing this will probably stop at close to like 180,000, 190,000 even, going back into this. Which to me almost means we might even need a second one of these to generate twice as much. Because if we need 475,000, if we can get at least 250,000 out of one reactor, and right now we're getting 360,000 out of one reactor, if we get a second reactor, that alone would be enough, and we wouldn't have to go anywhere near a dangerous level of saturation nor temperature. We still have around 3,300 Celsius to play with. So obviously this is going to be interesting to see where it goes. I do want to see if we can get... well, actually, I want this to stabilize first, and then we're going to see if we can open up the dimension for the Draconium. If we can, awesome, and then we're going to make another one of those... oh, what is it? Is it a miner? I don't even know what it's called anymore. I think it's one of these? An Ender Quarry? I think it's the Ender Quarry that we want. I don't know, it's been so long since we made it. I think it's the Ender Quarry that we're going to make. We'll make another one of those, and we'll basically place it there. And then, let's see, how much Draconium? 1,300. Yeah, we're going to need a lot. Because we need 9 energy cells, and I think the energy cells use a lot. Let's see, creative energy cells. I wonder, now that I'm thinking about this, so if these items are truly creative, does this imply we get unlimited energy? Probably not, right? Because surely that would just be busted, because you would just beeline for this to get unlimited energy. Or am I just... yeah, I don't think it spawns with unlimited energy. I just think it has a really massive capacity. Or effectively an unlimited capacity. And then, of course, the portable tank truly is just an infinite storage bin for liquid. Which would be an interesting ploy to try to drain all of the nether of its lava. That seems like just a really bored, absurd thing to do. I suppose you would drain the lava in the nether out of every loaded chunk. So the temperature has now reached 5100, and noticed it has changed color. So I am assuming that it changes color as it kind of gets into that warning zone. Because it was green, which basically was, you're fine, nothing bad will happen. And nothing bad will happen now either. We can technically get to 8,000 degrees Celsius and nothing bad will happen. The issue comes when, and we'll look in here, is when it gets to like 8,001. Pretty much you can go past 8,000. It's not like, oh, 8,001, boom, the reactor goes. It exponentially requires more energy to maintain the containment field. That's where the whole problem lies. So although, sure, we can hit 8,001 and the reactor won't go boom, the shield will just start taking more energy to keep going, which if you can happily generate enough energy to keep it going, go for it. But after a certain point, you no longer get good returns, right? So right now, we're making more energy than we're consuming out of this. This is a self-sufficient reactor. However, the second we get to a certain point, it no longer is optimal for us to run. I believe 8,000 is the most optimal number to have it at. Having it at 8,000 is just the best. We're going to get the most energy out for the least amount of energy in. Now, this may or may not have changed from the current version, but again, we're playing in a little bit of an older version, so I feel like a lot of the information out on the current state of this, or at least this version of the mod, should be relatively ironed out. I don't think too much will have changed. So it looks like we're stable. Saturation has pretty much peaked at decaying. Looks like we should stabilize at around 34%, give or take a little bit. Also looks like temperature, it's rising, but I'm betting it probably caps out at like 5,200, maybe 5,250. If I had to guess. Yeah, it should cap out somewhere there. I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit by telling it to go to 410,000. That just speeds this number up and then decaying it back down. That's just to help speed it up a little bit, because as it goes now, because the way it works is the input has basically slowed to almost 2 RF a tick increases every couple ticks, and so then of course the temp won't increase as quickly, and then the generation will slow as well, and then once it caps out right here, so we'll continue to rise a little bit, and then it will do a little bit of a checksum and say, oh, we're at that temp, or rather we're at that generation point, and so then notice temperature pretty much stops increasing. It will increase a little bit. There's some residual like decimal places that are balancing out and things, and rounding errors, and well, I say rounding errors, but just rounding that's occurring. So that's why these are going to fluctuate a little bit, because the numbers that are in the programs aren't perfect, so you're going to get some floating point numbers and things. But regardless, so we stabilized at 400,000, so that's really good. I really want to see if we can get 500,000, but I'm not going to push it. But pretty much I was spot on. About 180,000 is required to maintain this level of generation. So we're really only getting 220,000, so just shy of half of really what we need. So that does beg the question. I think in between episodes we're going to try to go fight another one of the Chaos Islands so we can get basically another reactor going, but oh good lord, oh good lord, oh good lord. Oh, this is fun, playing PowerPoint. Oof. Why is things, it was just fine a second ago. Okay, we're gonna head back outside of the base. Oh PowerPoint, please. Okay. Well, can't really go back in the base right now. Oh, it does not like this. Okay, well, I think what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead, we're going to call it here. So we got the reactor stabilized and a couple other things. I'm going to put in a cut, see if I can get the dimension opened off camera. If I can, then we'll come back to that. If I can't, the episode will end here. And I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully with less lag. Because this world is starting to get to that point, which might be a few things we can do, but we'll see. So yeah. Give me a sec. Alright, and we're back. So, reloaded onto the world and the lag disappeared, knock on wood. It appears we're generating at a much faster rate than numbers would like to allure to. Pretty much the number that this thing says it's generating and the number that the battery is getting appears to be a lot more. Also, this thing is loud, and that sound is scary. Just because the faster and the louder it gets, the more likely it's to go boom. And I say more likely, but it's really just, it indicates where it's at in terms of boom. Because it's at 5100, and technically the number is decreasing, which tells us we can pull even more energy out of this thing. I'm gonna hold off on pulling from it, but that's just funny. I do want to actually head to the mining world and see if that is pulling energy. Not that we really need the quarry to be functioning anymore, because we have plenty of things in terms of resources. But I am quite curious. You know what I'm also curious about, but I don't really want to do because it might cause the reactor to go boom. Let's head over to this dimension. I don't think I've been into this dimension since we turned this thing on. No, it does have both. Okay. It is, no, it is operating. Okay. Does this thing not have power? Well, it's getting power from power. I don't want to connect it to the battery because I'm afraid it's going to drain the battery. Okay. That's going to require some testing. I think what I might end up doing, just for fun, is... because I don't think it's operating as fast as it could operate. See, I don't need this. I need these. Okay. So let's see. If I remember correctly, it's not operating as fast as it could. I mean, it's mining, but I feel like with speed 3, it should be able to fill that almost instantly. But we'll see. So I believe power is not this one, because this power is the base. I think it's this one, but I thought I connected it. What the hell is it getting power from? Because this reactor is powering that core. I mean, it's only 50,000 RF a tick. So it's not very much, but I do need to make some more Elorium. I'm trying to think where... I don't know, somewhere there's a Tesseract powering their quarry. You know what? It's probably somewhere buried behind all these machines. Oh, it's for... no, this is the item duct. That's for items. Where the hell is the one for power? Because if neither reactor is directly powering this thing, unless... if it's over here somewhere, but I don't think that would have... There's another item 1. I honestly don't know where that quarry is getting its power. In all honesty. I don't know. Anyway, so the progress on the dimension builder is at 11%. I have hardwired it to a Tesseract pulling straight from the battery. So our only real limitations at this point are a Tesseract, which I don't know how slow or fast the transfer speeds are, but
Yeah, we're pretty much limited, I think, by some internal buffer, even though everything should be unlimited. So we're gonna wait for this thing to build. I think we're gonna wait till next episode to traverse to that dimension, just so that I can do some things in between. And with that, I think that's what we're gonna call it. So hope you guys enjoyed. It was a little bit of a different episode. We mainly just went over making sure the script on the reactor works and things didn't go boom, along with trying to do a lot of Thaumcraft research. Oh, fun! More of that sanity from speaking of Thaumcraft. We're gonna have so much research ahead of us, as you saw earlier. That's a very long list that we need to complete in order to get access to arguably one of the better wands in Thaumcraft. I believe it's like a top 3 wand or something or other, but yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, you guys know to do, smash the like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, it helps out the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, leave those down below. And also, all tips are appreciated. Any information you guys can help, or yeah, any information you guys have to get more of these, that'd be great, because we're limited quite a lot actually on some of these. Um, so yeah, so any helpful Thaumcraft information would be great. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace out.